Welcome to this of our first weekly updates for 11.1.27x. I'm Professor Eric Klopfer, one of the instructors for this course. And hopefully you've seen me online in some of the videos and in the forums, and you'll be seeing me around each week or one of the other staff who will be giving weekly updates. We try to give some summaries of some of the activity we've seen in the course, give some projections for the week going forward, also listen to some of the feedback that we hear about the course and try to respond to that. So a lot of great activity going on in the forums this week. That's one of the most important parts of this course is discussion in the forums, productive feedback to other people, group formation, engaged conversation. These are all great things that we've seen so far, and we hope to see that continuing throughout the course. That includes things going on in the introductions, where we've had around 1,000 people introducing themselves, some people finding each other from common spaces and places. For example, a group from Adelaide in Australia found each other and formed a group through their discussions in the forums and the introduction. So hopefully you can find other people you're interested in meeting as well. The assignment, really interesting responses to the assignment this week. Over 1,000, almost 2,000 responses so far in the forums around that. From an interesting graphic that Hasi, H4SSI, posted, which sort of linked different kinds of games and play, classifying some of the things that he thought was interesting. We saw Lena LeRae do another categorization and have a lot of great responses around that, so people engaged around her classification. Same with John from Dublin, who also did a nice job sort of getting a conversation going on around his classification. It's exactly what we'd like to see. Not always people agreeing with each other, but people being respectful and having good conversation. That's where a lot of great learning can happen. We've seen some groups forming. One of the biggest ones has around 86 members. The Games in Higher Education group has formed, and some good discussion going on there. And we've seen some groups forming in other kinds of places as well around different kinds of topics. Some of them being very specific topics that you might be learning about, other ones being pushing games into new spaces for learning, and that's what we like to see as well. For example, one on soft skills. So it doesn't necessarily have to be something that's an existing classification around a game that you might find in an app store. It might be about thinking about new ways we might use games for learning. I spent some time in the GameBlocks forums, so really great responses there, some good first efforts that people made. I played some of the games that people have made. And some of them are really a lot of fun to start with, and that's a great way to start your game development process. I want to call out a bunch of people who I saw giving feedback to people, helping them solve problems, and helping people, giving people encouragement even when they made simple first projects. That includes Mark Smallwood, Yi, TPE, Sanam Degan, Aswana, Mitchell Crutch, and Sofero. I'm sure there were others as well that were giving feedback there, and I think that's really helpful for people who are getting started and for people who are experienced as well. One of the questions that came up in the GameBlocks forums is, do you have to use GameBlocks for your assignments? And the answer is no. There's a separate forum for people who want help with other game tools. We certainly recommend GameBlocks. We designed it specifically for this course where you can learn online, develop all your stuff without being an expert in game design and development. And it's based on a real game engine. But you're welcome to use other things. If you have a tool you're familiar with, like Scratch, or something you've been wanting to learn, like Unity, please feel free to use those things. The more you can make whatever you produce accessible to other people, the better. So we really recommend things that you can put on the web for other people to try without necessarily any plugins. That's what we've tried to have as our own defining experience for our GameBlocks. And do try GameBlocks if you've never tried anything before. There's an on-ramp there that helps novices get started, and a lot of community helping other people make games there. Upcoming this week is a Foundations Week. We'll be traveling around the country to different sites, talking with experts on learning games, and we'll be doing some stuff right here at home. Scott Osterweil and I will be talking about Math Blasters versus the Zumbinis, which was a fun conversation where we played both of those games. And the assignments this week have to do with curriculum design and evaluating games. So those should be good first assignments to help you get your feet wet in diving into educational games. So we'll see you online, we'll see you in the forums, and hope you have a good week.